Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday morning. My name is Stephanie Barton, and I am the Shared Services Help Center Manager. I have had the privilege over the last several months of working on the website revamp. With me, I have Tara Stewart, who's our website designer, and I also have Rainey Webb, who's our project manager on this project. Again, I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your very busy day to join us. As we embarked on the website revamp project, our goal was to make our website more user-friendly for our colleges and make sure that we had things at your fingertips that would enhance our site. As we begin our WebEx this morning, we're going to take a glance back at our old website and look at some of the differences. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we do that. This WebEx will be recorded. Several of our other sessions have been recorded as well, so I'm going to go through all of the recordings, and the best one of all of them will be posted. So that will be communicated on the website. Once there is a link to a recording out there, a communication will go out. So if there are folks that you know wanted to attend a WebEx, but there wasn't one that they were able to get to, there will be a video of the WebEx posted on the website soon. I would say within the next couple of weeks, so look forward to that coming. The next thing about the WebEx is, for the sake of time, I will be muting all of the lines once we get into the demo. There are several points in the session that I will pause and unmute the lines just to check and see if there are questions, make sure everybody's still with me. If you need me in the meantime, you have something that you want me to stop and elaborate more on, use the chat window. I will have my chat window up. Tara is with me, and she will be the one driving the actual WebEx, so the chat will not be showing on the screen that we're projecting, so you're safe to chat during the session, and I will unmute the lines. We can stop at any time that there's anything you would like to see more of. We're happy to do that. As we go through the demo, we're basically going to go through every page on the website, talk a little bit about each page, and take you on a tour of the site. We've spent a great deal of time making the site, as I said, more user-friendly and visually pleasing for you. But I'm not the mom who thinks that my child is perfect, meaning I don't think the site is perfect in its current state. I want you guys to give your honest feedback. I want you to tell us what you need, tell us places that we could be better. Our job is to service you. As I mentioned, I'm the Help Center Manager, so my team is the Help Center team that you're talking to when you call our 877 Help Center number. They're at your service. We want to put things on the website that will help you have those resources at your fingertips that will help the vendors that are reaching out to you have those things at their fingertips. If there are things that you see are missing on our current site, tell us what those things are so that we can enhance the site. As we go through the demo, I'm going to tell you some changes that we've already made to the site based on feedback that we've gotten during the previous WebEx sessions. So we've tried to make those changes pretty real time so that you could see. We definitely want your feedback. We want to make those changes as quickly as we can for you. At the end of the session, again, we will open up the lines and ask for feedback. So as we're going through, jot down some notes. Think of some things. If there are things that you really like, we'd like to hear those things too, but we really want to hear the things that you see could be better or things that we possibly have missed from your perspective. Don't be afraid to give us that critical feedback. We definitely don't take it personally. This whole entire revamp was done for you, our customers. So if there are things that we could change for you, you are the customer. We want to hear that feedback from you. We want to know what we could do better. We want to know what we can do to enhance the site for you. So please keep that in mind as we're going through things. We want you to share that with us. I'm going to tell you several ways that you can channel that feedback to us after this session. But the intent of the session is for it to be open communication and you to share those things with us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started without further ado. Can everyone hear me clearly? Are there any technical difficulties before we get started? Can everyone see our screen? Okay, no news is good news. I'm going to mute all of the lines and we'll get started. Okay, the first thing that we're showing is our old website. As we look at our old site, I think the first thing that you will see is good use of white space. On our old site, we obviously did not have very many graphics. We had a lot of white space. We had a really old 50th anniversary. It was our 50th anniversary how many years ago? So we had an old logo, not a shared services brand at all, and we didn't do a very good job of representing our services. So there were some SSC services in our menu, but they were buried and not a good representation of all of the services that we have here at Shared Services. Now, as we flip over to our new website, I always feel like we need a little drum roll there. I think that you see we've done a much better job of making the site more visually pleasing, and we've got our services front and center. So we have a menu that goes across the top of the screen that has each of our services so that you can see them across the top of the site, and they're broken out according to which hierarchy they fall into. So accounts payable and travel and expense fall into the finance operations hierarchy. And then you'll see hire to retire, payroll operations, and TLAM fall under human resource operations. Then of course we've got procurement, help center, and business transformation office. That menu again goes across the top of the screen. And then as you scroll down into the site, there are several other ways that we have those services introduced to the user. So as we revamped the site, we wanted to make options for our users. So there are several different ways to get to the same thing. Again, it's about giving our users options. There are three little lines over to the right-hand side. I would encourage you guys to go to the website from your mobile device. Again, options is one of the key words. If you go from your mobile device, you're going to see you don't have that menu going across the top of the screen. You're going to see this menu. That top menu is too wide for a mobile device. This menu that you're looking at currently is the menu that you'll see on your mobile device. It's a mobile-friendly menu, and it gives you the same options, but they're introduced to you in a different way. We know that every person likes to see things differently, so we're introducing options to our user and trying to give them ways to look at things differently. As we go down into the site, you're going to see there are many different options. We want to give people different choices, different ways to look at things. As we go into the site, you're going to see these things go to the same place. Go down just a little, Kara. These tiles and slider menus, they go to the same place. They'll take you to the same menu options, but we're trying to give the user choices. We want them to be able to choose where they want to go and how they want to get there. So we're not going to go into any of the services yet, but I wanted you to see, if you haven't already been on the site, that there are many different choices that the user can pick from. If they haven't ever been on the site and they're not sure how to get to places, they really can't go wrong. They can pick from any of these how they want to get to whichever menu that they're trying to choose from. So we're going to go back to the top and really start digging into some of these. But I wanted you to see kind of the overview of the page and the options that the user has to choose from. As we start digging into the pages, I'm going to go top to bottom, left to right. So the first thing that you see at the top is About Us, Our Values, Our Colleges, and Careers. About Us and Our Values are really pages about shared services. So we've highlighted our values in some of our newsletters. Quick plug for the newsletter. If you're not already receiving the newsletter, you would know. We just sent out a newsletter this week. So if you're not already receiving the newsletter, there is a link on the home page, and we'll get to it when we get to the footer. You can subscribe to our newsletter. We'd love for you to be on that list. There's some very helpful information about shared services in the newsletter, so let us know if you want to be receiving that and you're not. But our values are there about shared services, gives you helpful information if you're not familiar with shared services and what we're doing here. One page that I really like and the Help Center finds very helpful is our colleges. So we're going to go into that page and show you a little bit more. This page has graphics that represent each of your colleges. It also has a link to every college's website and every college's staff directory. So my Help Center team is very often looking for a person at a specific college campus, and we need to go to the staff directory. I know at colleges you're often looking for staff at other colleges. So hopefully this page will be very helpful for you and save you some time hunting for people at other colleges or at system office, and find one place. Again, we are representative at Shared Services of every single one of the community colleges, so we feel that it's important to show that representation on our website. We would ask that you do the same. If you don't already have a link to the Shared Services website on your college webpage, we would encourage you to add one. We are one community college system, so we want to reflect that on our web pages. As you go through this demo, you're going to see we have graphics that represent your college campuses. We also have graphics that represent college students. Again, we're a community college system. We want to make sure that we're graphically and visually representing that. We didn't do that very well on our old site, so we want to make sure that we're doing that better on this site. You can also see our new graphic. We do have a Virginia's Community Colleges Shared Services Center graphic here on our page. You can click on that graphic at any time and it will take you back to the home page. So for quick reference, you can always just click that and you'll go right back to the home page. The next thing that you can click on is careers. If we're going left to right, that will take you to jobs that are available within the community college system. It'll tell you a little bit about the system, a little bit about the Shared Services Center, and jobs that we have open here at the Shared Services Center. If you're interested in knowing what those are, or you know people that are looking for jobs in the Daleville area, that's the page, is the careers page. Shifting over to the right-hand side, again on that top bar, you see a link to email, our YouTube page. There will be training videos coming to the YouTube page. Our LinkedIn, we did a fairly decent job of announcing that our website revamp was going live on our on our LinkedIn page. And we will continue using our LinkedIn page more in the future as we're going to events. We will be at the Fall Admin Conference. We'll have some updates to our LinkedIn page coming up for the Fall Admin Conference. So if you're not already subscribed to our LinkedIn page, I would encourage you to do so. There's also a search feature there in the upper right-hand corner. If you click on that, it will pop out to full screen. You can search for absolutely anything on the website, either by using that search feature, or hopefully when we came to the website, you saw there in the middle, there's that how may we help you. That is the exact same search. Again, it's all about options, so you can search either one, whichever is more convenient for you, and you can search absolutely anything on the entire website, and if it's there or there's something close, you're going to get that brought up for you. So when you're going to the website, use the search feature. That will help you learn what's out there the first few times until you've had a chance to explore absolutely everything. We're going to go ahead and dig into the menu. The first thing, as I mentioned, is finance operations. Accounts payable and travel and expense both fall under finance operations. Accounts payable didn't have any representation on our old website, so everything in accounts payable is brand new. As we go into each of the individual department pages, there are a couple of things that I want to draw your attention to so that you become familiar with the pages. In the middle, you're going to see a brief description of each department. Because we know that not everyone is familiar with shared services or each of the departments that we have here, we wanted to give a little explanation about each department and what we're doing. What is shared services? What do these departments do here at shared services? So we have that description in that department field so that we can explain the department to our viewers. So you'll see that on each page there in the middle of the page view. The other thing that you're going to see on every single page is on the left-hand side a blue submenu. That submenu tells you what options are available for that particular department. As we go into each of the different departments, you're going to see that their submenus are different. Depending on what is available for each particular department, that is what will be on the submenu. So as we go into travel and expense, for example, you'll see that they have a bunch of different options on their submenu. That's because travel and expense has many different options available. They were one of the very first services to launch and have all of the colleges part of the travel and expense service. So they're quite built out on their web page. And we'll talk more about that when we get to their page. But the submenu is reflective of what is available for that particular service. The other consistent feature that you're going to see on every page as we go down is the Contact Us. You're going to see the information for the Help Center. So help@ssc.vccs.edu is the Help Center email address. And the Help Center phone number is also there. Hopefully you guys are familiar with the Help Center and you have that contact information, but if you need it, it's always on the website. Our hours of operation are also there, and there are some quick links to view or search our knowledge base and to submit a process improvement idea. If you have feedback about the website, you can use either the process idea submission form or you can send us an email. And I'll talk more about both of those options as we get towards the end of the WebEx and over to our business transformation page. One thing that I want to highlight on the accounts payable page is we have a great deal of information here about the P-card process. P-cards live both in accounts payable and in procurement. So you will see the P-card process on both of those two pages. And you will also see that we've got some really good information for vendors. If you come over here to these accordion style drop downs, you will see that you can pop those open and see all of this information that we have here for vendors, how to submit invoices, the email address, exactly what information they need to have on an invoice in order to get it paid in the most efficient way. We are constantly preaching this information to our vendors as they're sending in invoices and questioning, why was my invoice delayed, why didn't it get processed timely? So it's helpful for you to direct them to the website, give them the web address and say, there's information about submitting an invoice on the accounts payable page. That will save you a great deal of time. You can also direct them to call us. We're happy to do that for you. Okay, we're going to go up and move on to travel and expense. As I mentioned, travel and expense has quite a few more options in their menu. If there are any SLA signed, so we've got signed SLA service level agreements for TLAM and travel and expense, those will be available for you to see in the blue submenu. So you'll see those in both T&E and TLAM. There's also policies and procedures. As we get more of those built out, they'll be available for you here in the submenu. There's a great deal of information on travel arrangements, travel planning. There are also links for you to log into Chrome River here on the T&E page. As we go down further into the travel page, you will see at the bottom of every single page, we have quick links for you. So here on the travel and expense page, we've got links to the CAP manual. We've got a USPS zip code verification tool that's helpful when you're submitting your travel. We've also got trip calculator, so there are lots of helpful links here as you're submitting travel that you might want to refer to. On each of the pages, we've got those links, things that are helpful for you as you're doing whatever service it is. So if you've got links in your mind that you think would be helpful for us to add, we are happy to add those for you. Again, you guys were doing these services at your college prior to shared services taking them on, so you've got some expertise. Share that with us. We're happy to put that on the website. One other thing that I realized I skipped over, if we go back to the home page, I'd like to point out we have all of our communications listed on the home page. If we go down just a little bit past these tiles, there's a communications section, recent communications. One of the things that we heard from our colleges is that communications are often sent out, and maybe they go to the vice president level at the college, but they don't get disseminated to the appropriate folks at the college level. We want our website to be the most current place for all things SSC. So every communication that comes out of shared services will be posted on our website. And as we go into the department pages, you're going to see, while they're all on the home page, if the communication is representative of travel and expense, it's also going to be on the travel and expense page. So as we go into these pages, I'll show you, but I wanted to point out that all recent communications are on the home page. So get in the habit of checking the home page if you're curious about recent communications. This is the repository for those. And then, as I said, you can check if you're looking for a procurement communication, know that it'll be on the procurement page. If we go back into the travel and expense page, I'll show you there are some travel and expense communications right here in the middle. You can see those important notice regarding new Chrome River enhancements that was sent out a couple of weeks ago. But you can see, who did that go to? When was that communication sent, and all the details, and you could read that. And you see that there are several pages of communications that have been sent over the past few months. You could go back. This is the perfect thing for you to use as a tool. If you've got a brand new employee starting at your campus and you want them to sit and kind of catch up on things that have happened over the past couple of months, this is a repository of information for you. They can use it as a tool and kind of as a history lesson for them to catch up. There's an archive of information for them. It's not going to be everything, obviously, but on the topic of travel and expense or whatever service they're trying to learn, there should be a great deal of information out here for them. And again, if there are other things that need to be added, please share those with me. I am more than happy to get them added. We want this to be a one-stop shop for them. I'm going to open up the lines for just a second and pause and see if there are any questions. Nothing yet? Okay, I'm going to mute the lines again and we will continue on our journey. I'm going to go back to the home page for just a second, not to skip around, but I want you guys to see in the footer, you can get to any page from, or pretty close to any page from the footer. There's also the link to sign up for the newsletter. I mentioned that, and I realized that I didn't tell you guys about our accessibility, so I wanted to quickly mention that and the two stickies on the side of our home page. We needed to upgrade our 508 compliance and accessibility when we did the revamp of our website. So you see on the left-hand side, there's a little blue wheelchair sticky. If you pop that out, that is our accessibility option. There are quite a few options. If someone needed to change the page for accessibility reasons, they can change the contrast, increase or decrease the text size, change the background information. All of those accessibility options are available. They can also have a text-only version of the site. There's a site map available. Our holiday schedule is on the site, so they can get to many different options here from the footer of the page. There are also some things that people have told us, such as metrics and dashboards. That is very deeply, I won't say hidden, but very deeply embedded within the BTO page. I'll show you where it is, but we know that that's something people often want to get to, so that's also in the footer. Again, subscribing to our newsletter. If you look at the sticky that's on the right-hand side of the page, that follows you as you scroll up and down the page, and that has 3 links that we know people are going to often want to refer to. Our career page, visiting the SSC, that's a Google map that you see here in the footer. Not that our site is difficult to get to, but if you're not familiar with the Daleville area, it can be a little hard to find us. Hopefully some of you guys will get out to visit us. I see some Mountain Empire and Patrick Henry folks on the line. If you guys haven't been to the SSC, I would encourage you to come out and see us. So this Google map can be helpful for you finding our location. And then there's also a link, the third one down is the link to our colleges page. Again, I hope that's a helpful page for you guys. So that's the third link in our sticky here, is to get you to our colleges page that I showed you there at the top of the page. I just wanted to point that out to you if you haven't become familiar with that. Hopefully those options are helpful to you. The next thing that we're going to go to is human resource operations. And we're going to go quickly through these menu options. I just want you to know what's under each of these so that you're familiar with the resources that are available to you. How to Retire is a service that we're currently building out. The verbiage just says that we're currently rolling out onboarding to a couple of our colleges, and once the service is fully established, there will be more information on this page. So this is one that I would check back often because it's not fully built out, but there will definitely be more information to come. Payroll operations. There is a separate email address for payroll operations, so I wanted to make sure to point that out to you. You are definitely welcome to call the Help Center or email us for payroll, but there is a payroll@ssc.bccs.edu email address that goes directly into the payroll team. So we are doing payroll for 15 of the 23 colleges, and if you're looking to get something directly to the payroll team, you can send to that email address. Again, as I mentioned, there are payroll specific communications here on the payroll page, and if we scroll down just a bit, there are also some payroll quick links that are listed here if you need to refer to those. If we move on over to the TLAM page, I know quite a few of you are used to looking at the TLAM calendar to see when PTO is going to post, when the end of the pay period is. Those calendars are still available on our site. There were also quite a few TLAM memos that went out earlier in the year as the TLAM 2 service became available and the Help Center was opened up so that folks could start calling the Help Center for TLAM services. There was a link to our website in those memos. That link still works. It'll bring you to the TLAM page. So if you have those, feel free to use that link. It will bring you right here to the TLAM page. All of those links are still valid. Okay, we are going to move over to procurement. There's a pretty good deal of information here on the procurement page. Right at the top you see, make sure you're getting ready for winter. I hate to think of winter being right around the corner, but it's time to start ordering your ice melt from BBC if you haven't already. We had an emergency preparedness page that was out for Hurricane Florence. So on the new website, there are several things that we can do for each of the different services. If we need to make alerts, let's say we had a system outage or we're going to be closed for a holiday, you can see that on the home page. You can also see these blue banners on specific service pages. So if you happen to go into a page and notice that there's a blue banner, that likely means that there's information that we want to share about that particular service. So make sure you pay attention to that. You'll see in the blue menu for procurement, we have P-Card. As I mentioned, that's a service that overlaps between accounts payable and procurement, so we have it in both places. If we click on Purchase Card, I just want to point out that there is a great wealth of information here about P-Cards. If you have questions about a P-Card, you want to know how to apply for a P-Card, again, this is the accordion style feature here. So you can pop it open for whatever your specific question is and look just for whatever information you need. Let's say I lost my P-Card and I need to know what to do. I can pop open that option and see, oh, I need to contact BOA, and I see their phone number. I know exactly what I need to do. If I need to reconcile my card, I go down to P-Card reconciliation, and I know what steps I need to follow. Our P-Card administrator is here at the Shared Services, Rachel Compton. Her contact information is here. She took the time to build out all of this process and make it as user-friendly as possible for you. If you see that there's information that is not here, or you think there's some frequently asked questions that could be added to the list, please share that information with us. Again, we don't take any of that personally. We want to grow and be the best resource that we can possibly be for you. So we are happy to have that feedback. We absolutely welcome it. So please share that with us. We are also working to add some things to make the procurement site a little more enhanced for you. One of the things that we're working on and will be coming within the next week is we want to make the contracts that we currently have available to you. So active contracts and queued contracts, things that we're currently working on. So within the next week, an email communication will be coming out to your colleges that those are available on the procurement page. Be watching for that communication. This is where they will be. There is a link here to VASCUP contracts. We will be enhancing many of these pages. We want to get VITA contracts, a link to those out here. So over the next 6 months or so, I would say you're going to see a lot more procurement information. Again, it's a work in progress, so we're taking it one step at a time. It's kind of like eating an elephant. You can't do it all at once. You have to continue to build. I think what we've got is good, but we want to be better. So if there are things that you know you'd like to see be prioritized over other things, please tell us what those things are so that we can make sure they're higher up on the list. There's a great deal of vendor information out here. We have vendors that are often asking us, why do I need to register, as we're making calls to them to become registered vendors. There's lots of forms out here as we're asking for COVID W-9. People want to know how to fill them out. Why can't I give you a federal W-9? So we've provided that information to them. We've got some good EVA information out here. Zone information about entities within the VCCS. Hopefully some very useful information for you guys at the colleges and for our vendors. Again, I know I'm being repetitive, but I feel like I can't say it enough. If there are other things that you would like to see, please share that information with us so that we can get it out here for you. I'm going to pause for just a minute because I know procurement is a pretty hot topic. So I'm going to unmute the lines. Are there questions about procurement or things right off the bat that you guys know you'd like to see added for procurement? Nothing that you can think of right away?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going. If you guys think of things, feel free to chat them to me, or again at the end, I'm going to save some time so that we can discuss the site as a whole. So I'd love to hear your thoughts then. As we continue going, you're going to see several things that are unique about the Help Center and the Business Transformation page. The Help Center and BTO teams are the teams that you are likely to interact with the most. So your Help Center team, again, is the team that if you call our 877 number, that's who you're going to get. You're going to get someone on my team. If you escalate, you're going to escalate to me. So we thought it was helpful for you to be able to put a face to the name with the Help Center team and the Business Transformation team. So we're showing you who these folks are so that you can get to know them a little bit better. We want you to have a relationship with the people that you're talking to. I feel that it's important for you to know that you've got people who care about you, who care about your colleges, and who want to make sure that you get the help you need. If you ever feel like you're not getting help within the Help Center team, I absolutely want to make sure that I know about it. And you've got client partners who are an extension of your colleges and of the SSC. As we go over to the Business Transformation page, I'm going to show you who your client partners are. I've got one of them, Terrence, sitting in my office with me. So he wants to make sure that you know who he is, that you're comfortable coming to him with problems, and there's some really good resources on the client partner page. If you're not familiar with who the client partner is that's responsible for your college, we're making it really easy for you. So Terrence and Jill, if you don't know, they're our client partners, and each of them are responsible for particular colleges. The colleges that Terrence is responsible for are listed here. So you can pick your college and then see who's responsible for your school. The schools that Jill is responsible for are here, right under Jill's name. So if you didn't know before, now hopefully you know who your client partner is. And there is an escalation path or process for your client partners here. If you don't get something resolved, we want to know about it. We are not okay with something just going unresolved, but we would ask that you make sure you call it into the Help Center or that you send us an email. The one thing that makes it challenging for us is if we're at your college and we hear we constantly have this problem, but then when we come back, we don't see that there's been an issue reported. And so we're looking through tickets and we don't see that there are multiple calls or any tickets that represent that particular issue. So I would ask that you make sure that you're letting us know of that, and then absolutely follow the escalation path if it's necessary and let us know. Again, I am happy to have those things channeled to me if it's necessary. Terrence and Jill, I feel comfortable speaking for them. Tom Sweat is the Business Transformation Officer Manager. He's part of that escalation process as well. We are more than at your beck and call. We want to make sure that we are there to support your colleges and get things done as efficiently as we possibly can for you. So I think it's important, as I said, that you see a face to put with the name of the people in the Help Center and in your Business Transformation office so that you're comfortable coming to us. Hopefully you have the opportunity to meet us either at your college campus or at the upcoming Fall Admin Conference, other conferences that are coming soon. Introduce yourself. Make sure that we know who you are so that we can be of service to you. There's some other folks that I want to point out. You've got your project management team. I mentioned Rainey Webb, who's the project manager for the website development project. You can see Rainey and Rebecca and then Rick Friesen. They're all our project management team. So all of the folks in the business transformation team are captured on the website. So I just wanted to show you that those folks are available. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but there's a wealth of knowledge and folks that are listed here as part of that business transformation team as well. I want you to become familiar with them because, as I said, they're there to act as support partners for you. So feel comfortable making those partnerships so that you know who to go to if you need to. If you click on the Business Transformation Office at the very beginning when we went into the Business Transformation Office, I just want to point out the process improvement form. I showed you the link at the bottom that's available on the left-hand side of every single page, but I want to point out that if the process improvement form is in the blue menu on the Business Transformation Office page, It's also here in the information about the Business Transformation Office. The reason that it's represented in so many places on the Business Transformation Office page is because the BTO is responsible for process improvement. That's what they do. The Business Transformation Office is responsible for making things better. This process improvement form doesn't require that you give us any information about who you are, what college you're at. You can submit it completely anonymously. If you have an idea, we would encourage you to submit it. In the form, it tells you, don't feel obligated to have a solution. We just want your idea. Again, you guys were doing these services at your college campus prior to shared services coming along. So I would expect that you guys have ideas about how things can flow. If you know which service it would apply to most, tell us what the service is. If you don't, that's okay too. You can click multiple services. You can tell us if you think it will decrease costs, increase compliance, or other, and give us any other comments that you have. We've seen some come through that are really in-depth. We've seen some come through that don't have a lot of detail. Again, we welcome these process improvement ideas. You can submit website ideas through the process improvement form. You can also submit them to us via the help@SSC email address. I would encourage you to put website suggestions in writing rather than calling them into the Help Center. That's my personal preference. I find that if you're trying to explain something, it's kind of like I caught this fish and it was 6 inches. By the time the fish story gets told 5 times, the fish was 2 feet long. So I don't like to try to get someone's suggestion about a website change lost in translation. I'd rather you put it in writing so that as I'm reading it, I know exactly what you want, rather than now 2 people have told the story and I've lost the translation of exactly what you wanted. So submit those changes in writing, either at the help address or through the process improvement form. Those will get assigned directly to me, and Kara, Rainey, and I will work through those and get the changes made immediately. If I need to reach out to you for more information, there have been some things that I want to point out to you that we've already changed. And those came directly from people giving us the feedback. So if we go quickly back to the home page, something that I really can't believe we missed, but that was brought up to us was originally we didn't have our phone number here on this main page. I guess because I could save this 877 phone number in my sleep, I just assumed everybody knew the phone number, and we didn't have it front and center on the web page. We did have it in the footer, but we didn't have it right here. So we got a piece of feedback on the first day the site launched that said, the website doesn't have the phone number in the main screen of what I see. Guess what? It's there now. So I think that's a very helpful piece of feedback. If we click on the forms page, I want to show you guys our forms have now been updated, and I think you'll like what you see. We got some feedback about our forms. There was a form that was when you populated the date that you were filling out the form, it was also populating the signature date. Because when we created the form, we didn't fill it out for ourselves. We didn't know that that was happening. So that was feedback that was given to us by a college, and we corrected it right away. So again, these are the types of things that we need to know from you. As you go to the forms page, you're going to see that the forms look very different, and there are fewer forms here. That's by design. Each of the forms have been categorized into the department that the form should be used for. So you're going to see payroll, accounts payable, travel and expense, procurement. There were a great deal of forms that were on the old website that were very dated. Hopefully we haven't left out any forms that you're currently using. If we have, please let us know. We will be happy to get those forms into the right version and added for you right away. I won't promise that there aren't some that are not represented here, but we're 6 weeks in and we have had very few forms that people have told us that they don't see represented on the new website. So as you open up the new form, you're going to see it has a naming convention and a revision date on it. All of these forms have been revised with a new shared services logo on them and the new naming convention. That naming convention is important to us because it tells us which department the form represents. It also tells us when the revision date was. So we're doing our best with a new evergreen process to keep these forms updated. And it's going to tell you who the form was approved by. So if you have changes that you know need to be made in the form, you can see Michelle Canole was the approver of this form. We would know that we need to go to Michelle if we need changes made in this form. I'm going to unmute the lines and see, are there any questions about forms? We are really at the end of the overview, so overall feedback, questions that you guys have. There are a couple of questions in chat that I want to read through and see. One of the questions was about food forms, so hopefully I've answered that. Procurement question, is there a specific buyer that works with media advertising? I do not believe that there is a specific buyer that works with media advertising, but I'm going to find out the answer to that question for you, and I should have an answer before we're done with the WebEx, so I will let you know, Carolina. Are there other questions? Other website feedback? What do you guys think? Are there things that we've missed that you would like to see? There has to be something. I refuse to believe that it's perfect. There's lots of folks in this session. Nobody has anything? Okay, well, if nobody has any feedback, I'd like to, again, thank you guys for attending. I appreciate your time. I know you guys are all really busy helping students at your campuses. Again, the SSC wants to be your partner. We are an extension of each of your campuses. This website revamp was really for you. So if you have feedback after the session, please don't hesitate to send that to us. We want to be the best partner with you that we can be. So I hope you have a good rest of your Friday. Thank you so much for your time this morning and attending this session. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.